Today, we're going to talk about the most important thing any rabbit breeder needs to do for their rabbitry. It's just hands down the most important thing you can do. I know it doesn't sound very glamorous, note taking, but trust me, it keeps your rabbitry running smoothly and it'll help your bunnies thrive. And bonus, it'll keep your sanity too. When I first started doing the rabbit thing, I thought, well, I'll remember and I'll jot it down when I get in the house or, yeah, spoiler alert, I didn't. I, I missed so many things. These days, writing things down for me is just second nature. It's become a habit and it makes all the difference in the world. A long time ago, I learned a valuable tool in life. It's called journaling. I started in fifth grade and on a whim, teacher made us do it, right? It's like, oh God. Well, I just make little notes every day and do to younger siblings. What a pain in the hiney they were. But hey, you guys, I love you. I have a younger brother and sister. Back then, I didn't love you so much. And I guess that's the way siblings work, right? But I soon learned how to use a shorthand. And it was kind of like a secret language for me. Nobody could read it. So I had the freedom of writing down everything, my feelings, um, daily tasks, and I told everybody, including my parents, it was homework. So they just let me go. I'd write in my notebook just a little bit every day. And that's a habit that I've kept over the years. Keeping a journal is a powerful habit because it gives you the space to reflect, process, and grow. Sounds corny, but it's so true. Do it. Yeah. Writing things down helps clear your mind, it reduces stress, it organizes your thoughts, and it also allows you to track progress over time. You can celebrate your wins, big or small. You can learn from your challenges, what didn't work, whether you use it for your daily notes, personal reflections, or goal setting. Journaling just helps you stay grounded and more connected to yourself. So let's talk about why keeping records is so important in your rabbitry. Well, it helps prevent mistakes. We're human, we're going to make mistakes. Boy, well, I've made some doozies and I still do because you know what? I'm human. Oh, speaking of human, look at my hat. I got this design and I've checked off I'm human. Every day I wake up, it's a new day and it's an opportunity for me to make new mistakes. Of course, we don't say that, right? But it is an opportunity for learning. So here we go. We're learning how to better organize our rabbitry and take better notes, record keeping. So it helps prevent mistakes, missed breedings, feed mix-ups, giving the wrong dose of medicine, all these things. Did I just give her a shot of Ivomec last week? Or was it just a couple of days ago? When was that? Very important to know. It makes answering questions from potential buyers and other breeders so much easier. And best of all, it gives you a long-term view of your rabbitry's progress and success. Especially when I was doing my COD, man, I learned so many things doing that process. But I get so focused on what right in front of me, here and now, today, yesterday, last month. I forget sometimes to look a year ago. And I think, God, this is so frustrating. I haven't made any progress. But when I look at my notes from a year ago or more, I'm just amazed of the progress that I've done. Yeah, so those are the wins. We need to celebrate those. So a journal, I use a mixture, like I mentioned before, some old school and digital tools. I'll go through each and I'll go into detail on how I use it. If you can pull out any little nugget of golden information, use it. Tweak it. Make it your own. Make a progress that works for you and your rabbitry because we want you to be successful. So a journal, hard back, pen, paper, just like that. Yeah, nothing fancy, just a journal. If you want something fancy, I can do something fancy for you. Look at that. I even did some of these for an award that was back almost a year ago. This is one of my journals I made for myself. Yeah, and then I have little tabs. Have you guys seen these things? Yeah, they're two-sided, writable. They're repositionable, kind of like super powered stickies. They're a little stickier than a regular Post-it. Tabs. You can put your own tabs in, and if you need more pages in a certain section, you just reposition it. So I have 6 sections that I have in my journal. I start with daily entries. That's your thickest portion. To-dos, readings, purchases, master bunny list, and your income. And I'll go into more detail here in a bit. And I'll give you some real life examples on how I've used that. The other old school hack that I've used, and I just love it, is a huge whiteboard. Years ago, we had a convention and the group wanted somebody to donate a whiteboard we could put at convention at the booth, write little notes where to do this, what's happening. So I was like, I'll volunteer to buy that because then I can take it home and use it in my rabbitry. The best, is it the best? Well, it's one of the best things I've ever bought for myself in my rabbitry. I love it. Put that big whiteboard somewhere right next to your desk, somewhere where you can write your notes and you'll see it every day in your face. That's where it's at. I make my notes like breedings and I write the tattoo of the mom or name and the tattoo of the dad, the date of the breeding. And then when I come back in 30 days, when they give birth, I write the date of birth and how many. And then I put a little circle around how many babies. Then we get down to the digital side of things. You'll see me mention a lot of duplication, old school, new school, digital, same information, so important. If you lose your notebook, you're in deep water, but you still have electronic information and vice versa. If your computer blows up, something happens. On the digital side of things, I created what I call the Bunny Chore Tracker app. It's not really an app. I'm a Google girl, but I made a little Google form. I sent me a copy of it via myself on Messenger. I put a link to it on my phone, so it's on my home screen. So anytime I'm in the rabbit barn, I'm in the house, I'm at a bunny show, if I need to enter some information on that rabbit, I just click on that little icon on my phone, type in the information, and it automatically saves to a spreadsheet. So I have a lifetime worth of information on every rabbit. If I want to pull up that rabbit by tattoo number, I can just do a sort and I have all of the information for that rabbit in one place. It works and it's free. I even have a video on how you can make your own funny chore tracker. I'm frugal. If there's a free or cheap way to do things, I'm down. And if it works, I'm even more down. Comes down to my Pedigree software. Oh, I use Evans and it's broke my heart. They announced a while back that they're not going to keep Evans updated anymore. It's going to die. But for now, it's still on my computer and it still works. I've had to pay one price for a lifetime. I think there was a few add-ons that I paid a very low price. These people didn't get rich on this software, I don't think. But I didn't get rich either, but it worked really good in my rabbitry. Holy cannoli. I love that software. It did everything and more than I ever wanted to do. And their customer service was phenomenal. And a little shout out to Candy Haenszel. You know, where it had the color identification, and you can do like a little color map on if I bred this color to this color, this is what your potential colors are going to be in your nest box. That was all done. The information on the color genetics was by Candy Haenszel. Love you, Candy. Good job on that. And then the other digital software, it's a phone app, right? You can use it on iPhone or like me on Samsung. Works really good. It's called Who's Due. Yeah, so if I'm expecting a litter, I put it on my whiteboard and I make a Who's Due entry. That Who's Due is just phenomenal. I love it. Anywhere I go, I have that information. I can do my breeding and it tells me, it flags me when I should put in nest boxes and when to expect a litter. And then how many breeders out there, now be honest, I know there's a few, done your breedings and forgot to put in the nest box. Life does that to us, right? But Who's Due, since you can set it and forget it. And then later, when I'm in the house, I can put all that information in my Evans software. Shearing and wool production records. Now, you guys, if you're into Angoras, this one is huge. It's massive. The most, well, yeah, I keep saying that a lot. The most important thing you can track. It'll help you so much. Tracking your wool production. Wool is the number one reason I raise giant Angoras. Now, hands down, the German Angoras, hey, they are the major wool producers in the Angora world. But I love my giants. They're just a little bit different. I won't go into a lot of detail in this video because we're talking records, right? I got to stay focused. That's why I have a script and focus. I get talking rabbits. Yeah. Close second reason I do giants is, of course, the fun in competing in shows. Hence, some of the other kind of Angoras I have in my rabbit barn right now. I have some English. I even picked up a broken. I'm hoping to assist kind of behind the scenes with their broken program. Yeah, I'm kind of excited. And I'm not on the COD, but I can produce some brokens and I can bring some to a convention. I can support that team by doing that. Wool production, oh boy, howdy. Those little English, they're not going to produce like my giants. And it has a different wool texture. I like it. I like it a lot. So it's little. The rabbit is little. The wool is really soft. And they're so darn cute. Every Angora has their little superpower. English are just cute. They are the cutest ones, hands down. And then you have your French, right? The French and the satin. They're just as cute. Well, not as cute, but they are cute in their own right. They have clean ears. And when I say clean ears, they don't have any furnishings, clean feet. They don't have excess wool on their feet. And usually they don't have a massive density on their belly and underside either. So, and they're both about the same size. I think I'll have to look at the SOP. See, I don't spend a whole lot of time in those two breeds, so I'm not an expert by no means. Now, I know the French, they produce a lot. They are an easier maintenance. Now, I have to make a clarifying statement. Easy maintenance in Angoras does not exist. If anybody tells you this is easy maintenance and it's in Angora, they're lying to you. That's a flat out lie. I'll tell you that. I might get a lot of hate mail, but French are on the easier scale than the other breeds. Satins, oh my gosh, they are so beautiful. They glow in the dark. They're shiny. Their wool structure is just different. Very shiny, very pretty. For me, it's a no-go because they just don't produce enough for me and my wants, needs. So I've kept them in my barn for a little while, but they just weren't my jam. And they are a lot of people's jam. And there's nothing wrong with them, you guys. If you do satins, go for it, because they do have lovely wool. And of course, you guys know my favorite, the giant Angoras. Yep, yep. So anyway, back to my script. See how I can get sidetracked? This is bad. When I shear, I separate the wool as I go. I have a prime bucket, a second bucket, and a third bucket. I jot down the weights of each grade when I'm done, and I bag it, and I weigh the rabbit too. This is what I put in my notes before and after shearing. Very important. And all this information helps me calculate my yearly wool production per rabbit. I calculate my feed to wool ratio. I can accurately calculate the price of every ounce that I produce. And this aids in my pricing for my yarn and the wool that I sell. You can't do it otherwise. If you don't have that data, you're just grabbing something out of the sky and you're asking on the internet, what should I charge for my wool, for my yarn that I make? Don't do that. Calculate it yourself. Are you making money? Are you losing money? You can figure that out. You can also see which bloodlines are most productive. For me, doing the giant Angoras, that's what they do. That's their magic, is they make a lot of wool. So which ones are earning their keep and which ones aren't? Let's make more of the ones that are. That's the goal. And if you sell fiber or yarn, this data is golden. It's so important. One of the best things you can do as an Angora breeder is keep good records. When you track how much you feed your rabbits and how much wool they produce, you can figure out your own feed to wool ratio, and a little bit of math can really help you price your fiber and yarn fairly, both for yourself and your customers. Yes, for many of us, this is a hobby, but it's also true that our giant Angoras can be more than that. They can pay their own way. And good record keeping makes it clearer just how valuable these amazing rabbits are. So keep good notes. Now I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty. This is what you've been waiting for. This is the specific information. We're going to start with the digital, right? And there's two kinds that I use every day. There's bunny specific, and then there's the Rabbitry as a whole. Let's start with the bunny specific. We talked about my whiteboard, right? When I do a breeding, I write it on the whiteboard, and then I enter it in who's due on my phone at the same time. Boom, boom. Once the litter is born, I write on the whiteboard the date of birth, the litter size, how many, and I put a little circle around the number. Once they have babies, I update that information on the mom's side on who's due. And once they're born, I'll make a new entry in my bunny chore tracker form. Medications, the tattoo date and the dose. Shearing, the tattoo date. This is repetitive, right? But I need that tattoo and the date. The fiber weights by grade and the body weights. CNCs and the comments on any rabbit specific information. Maybe they broke a toenail, or one of the ears are getting a little lazy, or something's going on. You might make a note, do it here. And then I keep all that information on when I'm selling rabbits, who they went to, how much, did I call them? Keep detailed notes. I'm starting to repeat myself. Keep detailed notes. I'm sorry, but I'm not. It's important. Rabbitry inventory printouts. This is what I do now. Evans, you can print your pedigrees or you can print your inventory, and it gives me a whole sheet or sometimes several sheets of all your rabbits. And that's what I put on my clipboard. What are their weight? What are the shearing weights? I jot that down on that inventory sheet. And then when I go back to my desk about once a week, I have time to update my Evans software. And then I print out a new inventory sheet. So on the digital side, that's all the bunny specific information. Now let's talk rabbitry. When any kind of maintenance I do in the rabbitry, I clean pans, I applied diatomaceous earth on the ground. We have a dirt floor in our barn, so I use a lot of diatomaceous earth everywhere. PDZ, it's a stall freshener. Gosh, that's golden too. I put that underneath the free hanging pages, especially when the barn is closed up and all you're running is the air conditioner and fans. The airflow is minimal from the outside because it's so bloody hot outside. It still smells good in there. They have fresh air. So anything you do to the barn as far as maintenance, like our air conditioners, when do they get serviced? The fans need cleaned out on a regular basis. Fuzz and stuff gathers on there. That's a fire hazard. Keep those things clean. Your blower, the blower that you use to blow your little bunnies out, when was the last time you cleaned that filter or changed it out? Do it, you guys, and make a note. Anything unusual, I make a note. Weather, is it really hot and sultry? Is it rainy? Is it really cold? I'm finally over the hump. Mice, God, they were horrible. I've always had a few, but yeah, but I got rid of them little suckers. They're gone. Maybe that'll be another video. Anything's out of the ordinary, make a note in your journal. Feed supply, any changes, or maybe just a new batch of the same feed, make a note in your journal. For sale inquiries, make a note. I'm really bad at that, trying to keep who's been contacting me, who wants a rabbit. And show contenders. I have a show coming up. Oh gosh, it's the end of August already. In September, we're starting to show again. So when I'm getting ready, who's going to go to a show? Who do I need to keep flown out? And when I get ready to do my entries, then it's all ready to go. My list is right there. Daily tasks, even if it's just fed and watered, make a habit of writing something down in your journal. Now, on this rabbitry stuff, what I do is a private blog, and I have a link to it right on my phone. It's on my desktop. Nobody sees it. It's just me. And it's categorized by date. Everything that I do every day is on my blog. No, you guys can't see my private blog. That's just for me and my rabbitry. It won't do you any good. It's just for me. Make one for you if you want to. Now, let's talk about old school. If you want to use a notebook, I did that for years, you guys, when I started. And I went through a lot of different methods. So I'm going to show you what worked best for me. A notebook, and I have 6 tabs. I want you to take away and tweak it and make it your own. Make it work for you. So what I'm sharing with you today is in a notebook like this, and your little repositional tabs. Make 6 tabs. 1, call it daily entries. 2nd, to-dos. 3rd, readings. 4th, purchases. 5th, master list. And 6th, income. You got to track all this stuff. Daily entries. This is your thickest portion. So leave a lot of space here. Biggest section. You're going to top it with a date. And at the bare minimum, you're going to write what? Feed and water. Nothing special today, but you fed and water. If it's twice a day, you're going to make 2 entries. You're going to feed and water twice a day. 3 times, whatever. Okay. The 2nd tab, to-dos. This is something that I've worked, that's something that needs to come up in the future. I'm not going to do it right now, but I don't want to lose it. If I don't write it down, it might get lost. So I write it down. Whether it's Ivomec, in 10 days, I need to give another shot. I need to clean the fans again. I need to do something in the future. So I write it in this section. Now here's a helpful hint. Leave a little column just before your item on your to-do list. And the reason I do that is once I get things done, you can put a little check mark and it's done. Now, if some things need to get moved to my calendar, so I know I don't forget. If I did a shearing on this rabbit today, in 3 months, 4 months, whatever your schedule is, write it down. Write the date, shear, and that tattoo number for that rabbit. And then when I get to move it onto my calendar, so I'll get flagged in the future, it's not done, but it's been moved. I put one little line in front of that action item. So that tells me at a glance, I can look at that page. Everything's either been done or been moved to my calendar. Hey guys, I had to go and change. I'm into my own grubs. I'm getting ready to go out to the bunny barn and do some grooming. And I had a little nugget I wanted to share. I got to write it down, so I didn't share it. So here I am, last minute tidbit. When you're making your to-dos, now this is any journal, anywhere. If you have it written down, works really well. You have your to-do list, right? And you're checking it off. It's got done. That feels good, right? I have another tip. Instead of just that little dainty check mark, put a line all the way through that item. There's an endorphin rush. It's little, but hey, use it. Put some element in it. Don't, tear your paper in half, but put a line all the way through there. Don't scrabble it because you want to read what it was, right? Just put a single line. And another to do, put another line. Yeah, celebrate those wins, you guys. Get her done, put a line through it, and feel good. That's it. Breedings, that's your next section. Note down exactly what you have on your whiteboard. The mom, the dad, date night, leave a little space. What I do in a physical notebook, I leave a half a page, and it works perfect. Put your mom and dad and the date they had a date night. If you're doing another rabbit, do the same thing here. Flip the page for your third rabbit and so on. Leave some room there. That way you can fill that in later on how many kits, when they were born, what colors, any kind of special notes. Whether they're dead on arrival, we don't want that to happen, but it does. It's sad if you had missed kits, so make a note underneath there. Fourth section, purchases. Any feed, any supplies, you're buying notebooks, write it down. Write the date, the amount, and the description. It'll help you later for your taxes. Trust me. Master list. This is a section I keep in the back. Invaluable. Whether you do it electronic or in your notebook, I keep a master list of all my rabbits. I start with their tattoo, their name, the date of birth, the color, who their mom and dad was, and then I leave some space behind that, and I make just a quick jot on whether they're sold or they're culled and the date, who they went to. If I sold them, how much, which comes down to your last item, the income. You want to make some kind of income with your rabbits, right? Sold this rabbit, this is how much. Wool sales. Do you sell any wool? Do you sell any of their poop? There's different ways you can make money on your Rabbitry. So make a note of it there. So some of this stuff might sound like it's duplication, but that's intentional. If one thing gets lost, like a notebook gets left behind or ate by the dog, you have it a digital record, or vice versa. If your computer blows up, you still have your notebook. My best advice, never leave the barn without writing something down. Even if it's just fed and watered, it builds that habit. Treat it like any other chore. feed, water, write it down. And once you get used to it, it makes adding the details more natural. Whatever you do, keep it simple and keep it current. That's it. Keep it simple, keep it current. And that's a t-shirt. Okay, I'm wrapping this up. Believe it or not, I'm almost done. Holy cannoli. It's going to be under an hour. I can get sidetracked. So there is your record keeping system, you guys. Pretty easy. I want to see what you're doing in your rabbitry. What works for you? It may seem like a lot of work, but it's worth it. We're making healthier rabbits, better wool yields, and way less stress for you. Write it down and forget it. It's there whenever you need it. And also, I am in search of a new pedigree program. So send me a link or description or applications you're using. This is one thing I learned at a rabbit show. It's almost a year ago. You know that Who's Due phone app I was telling you about? Keeping track of litters and when to fit in nest boxes and when they're going to be born. They have a pedigree portion. A youth showed me that at a rabbit show. We were talking about Evans and how they're going away, and I was sad. And she's like, this is what I use. That way, if she's at a show and sells a rabbit, boom, boom, it's on her phone. She can send a pedigree to that new owner immediately. It's right there. So Who's Due? You guys are awesome. I love it. But for now, what I'm going to be using, of course, is my Evans until it finally dies. And I'm moving over to fully electronic and my notebook. So if you liked any of the information I shared with you today, like, subscribe, and share with all your bunny friends. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next video, or maybe at a rabbit show. See ya!